November 5th, 2025, Puerto Cabello, 4:36 a.m. local time. A Venezuelan Navy patrol squadron left Puerto Cabello under strict radio silence. 4 boats, each armed with 12.7mm heavy machine guns and Soviet-era 73mm launchers. Their orders? Intercept the American warship entering Bolivarian waters. The Americans didn't know it yet, but the squadron's intel was already wrong. The target wasn't a lone destroyer, it was the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, a 100,000-ton floating air base with a strike group of 6 warships. By 5:21 in the morning, radar operators aboard the Eisenhower picked up faint echoes coming from the south. Small, fast, uncoordinated, didn't fit commercial traffic. Bridge, combat, we have 4 surface contacts, 27 miles in closing. The carrier's captain turned. Copy, let's light them up. Within seconds, the USS Gravely and the USS Mason adjusted course, forming a defensive wedge ahead of the carrier. The escort pattern tightened. The Phalanx Sea Whiz turrets rotated to standby. Every sailor on the deck knew this formation meant one thing: possible hostile approach. The Venezuelan lead boat, Naiguata 23, pushed its throttle past 40 knots. Its captain thought they were chasing an American destroyer running solo. His radar tech didn't notice the massive radar signature behind it: the carrier itself. At 5:48 in the morning, the Venezuelan squadron broke radio silence. "You are entering Bolivarian waters. Alter course immediately." No response, just static from the carrier. 3 minutes later, the boats crossed into visual range. And that is exactly when every sailor on the Naiguata 23 realized their mistake. They weren't staring at a destroyer. They were facing a U.S. aircraft carrier, backed by a fully armed strike group already locked onto their position. The Venezuelan boats didn't just stumble into any American ship. Nope. They had sailed straight toward one of the most lethal formations afloat: a U.S. Navy carrier strike group. At the center, Dwight D. Eisenhower, call sign Ike, nuclear-powered, 4.5 acres of armored deck, and carrying nearly 70 aircraft. To her crew, she's a floating city. To anyone dumb enough to challenge her, she's a storm from hell wrapped in steel. Flanking her, 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, the Gravely and the Mason, each one bristling with over 90 vertical launch cells, housing everything from Tomahawk cruise missiles to Sea Sparrow interceptors. On the outer ring, a Ticonderoga-class cruiser, Philippine Sea, running overwatch, tracking everything within 250 miles. Above them, 2 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters sweeping the surface, their tipping sonars pinging, and their infrared cameras scanning for fast movers. The carrier's Combat Information Center links all of it together: radar, sonar, satellite feed, all into one picture the size of an ocean. When those Venezuelan boats appeared, every ship in the group saw them at once. The system tagged them Skunk Alpha 1 through 4. Unknown surface contacts, course north, speed 42 knots. The order went out: maintain course, do not engage unless fired upon. It's a simple rule, one built on experience. The US Navy doesn't blink first. They let you come close enough to realize just how big of a mistake you've made. And right now, 4 Venezuelan captains were about to learn that lesson the hard way. At 5:52, the radar operator aboard Gravely leaned forward in his seat. "Contact accelerating, bearing steady, they're not changing course." That single line turned the entire Combat Information Center into a live wire. On the main screen, 4 small blips crawled across the surface radar display, each now just 22 miles out. They weren't moving like smugglers. Smugglers will do everything they can to avoid detection. These boats were charging straight in, hard. The captain of the Gravely made the call. Broadcast on Maritime Emergency Channel. The radio operator keyed the mic. Unidentified Venezuelan vessels, this is United States Navy warship. You are operating in international waters. Alter course immediately. Nothing. The Venezuelan formation split. 2 boats stayed low, hugging the waves. 2 veered wide, forming a pincer pattern. That's not random navigation. That's training. Meanwhile, up on the Eisenhower's flight deck, crew chiefs scrambled to ready another MH-60R Romeo helicopter. Its job to get eyes on target. Within 2 minutes, the Seahawk's rotors were slicing through the humid Caribbean air. Pilot climbed to 500 feet, sensors on. Visual contact, 4 fast patrol craft, approximately 45 feet, painted navy gray, flying Venezuelan flags, guns mounted forward. The carrier's command center cross-linked the video feed to every ship in the formation. The image was crystal clear, wakes slicing white trails toward the U.S. group. At 6:01, the Venezuelan lead boat locked on to radar return, Echo 2. Their intel sheet said that Echo 2 was the U.S. destroyer operating without carrier escort. A perfect target for a warning run. The idea was simple. Buzz close, fire a few warning bursts, film the standoff, and feed the footage straight to state media. Caracas wanted proof that their Navy could push back the Americans. But their data was 2 days old. Echo 2 wasn't alone anymore. Overnight, the carrier strike group had shifted position. The radar Echo they were chasing wasn't a destroyer. It was the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, the flagship herself. From the Naiguata 23's bridge, the American silhouette rising over the horizon looked wrong. Too large, too flat, too tall. The radar cross-section filled the entire scope. Their captain hesitated, thinking it was 2 ships side by side. Then the reflection of aircraft elevators and tower lights confirmed it. They were staring at an aircraft carrier. By now, the U.S. strike group had gone to full alert. Gravely and Mason shifted positions to block the small craft. Choppers maintained overhead eyes, and inside the Eisenhower's Combat Direction Center, every sensor was locked on to the Venezuelan formation. The Venezuelans, still trying to complete their demonstration, fired 2 short bursts into the water, not aimed just for show. But, to a U.S. carrier on high alert, muzzle flashes are no joke. Gravely's fire control radar locked on instantly. Target tracking came the call. The Venezuelan boats suddenly found themselves lit up by multiple weapon systems. Alarms screamed inside their cabins, missile lock tones they'd never heard before. In less than a minute, they realized what had gone wrong. They hadn't scared an American warship. They'd threatened a nuclear-powered carrier strike group with live weapons on standby. The Venezuelan commander shouted over the radio, voice shaking, "Cease approach! Cease approach! Disengage!" But it was already too late for calm words. The American response had already begun to unfold. 6:03. The carrier's Combat Direction Center went red. Not flashing lights, not sirens, just a calm professional voice. Condition 1, weapons release authorized for self-defense. On the destroyer Gravely, sailors manned the 5-inch gun. The Phalanx Sea Whiz turret rotated, tracking the fast boats automatically. Its barrel spinning at 4,500 rounds per minute, ready to shred anything that crossed the line. A single flick of a switch and the Caribbean would light up like the 4th of July. Above, the Seahawk helicopter dropped to 200 feet, holding a position over the approaching patrols. Its sensor operator could see men aboard the Naiguata 23, bandanas, helmets, fingers tight on their triggers. Then came a tone in the Seahawk's headset. Fire control radar from the Venezuelan boat had locked onto the Gravely. That was the final trigger. "Bridge, we are painted," the pilot said. Copy. Maintain eyes. Do not engage unless fired upon. Inside the Eisenhower, the tactical action officer ran through the rules of engagement checklist. U.S. policy was crystal clear. Do not start a fight, but finish it fast if it does start. A tense minute passed. Every gunner, every radar operator, every sailor just waited. The Venezuelan boats slowed, just barely, mind you. Then one boat accelerated again, skimming the surface at 45 knots straight toward the Gravely's bow. Standby countermeasures, came the call. Chaff pods armed, laser designators warmed up. One mistake, one burst too close, and it would all end in seconds. The Gravely's captain kept his hand steady. He knew the math. 4 small boats against 2 destroyers and a carrier? That's not a fight, that's a suicide note. At 6:06, Seahawk reported, "One vessel has broken formation, turning away." Then another. Then the radar paints began fading, one by one. Standoff was breaking, slowly, but not peacefully. The American guns stayed hot. The radios stayed cold. Because everyone on deck knew, just because they were turning now, doesn't mean it's over. 6:07. One of the Venezuelan boats, hull number 23, swung wide, looping back toward the carrier's southern flank. Whether it was confusion, pride, or poor communications, nobody knew. But to the Americans watching on radar, it looked like an attack run. Contact, closing fast, bearing 210. Every ship in the strike group snapped into defensive geometry. The Mason adjusted course, moving between the carrier and the approaching contact. The Sea-Ram launcher rotated, missile hatches opening. One wrong move, and this would turn into a very short war. From the air, the Seahawk pilot called it out. Lead Venezuelan boat is turning inside Mason's wake. Distance 1.5 nautical miles. That's just seconds away in naval time. Inside the Mason's Combat Information Center, the tactical watch officer's voice was calm but firm. If that boat crosses 1,000 yards, engage with a warning burst. Copy, 1,000-yard line. As the Venezuelan craft raced closer, Mason fired 2 green flares, standard U.S. Navy sign for turn away now. No response. Then, the Venezuelan boat's gunner made a mistake that almost triggered everything. He racked the charging handle on his deck gun. Just one sound, metal against metal, picked up by the Seahawk's camera microphone. Muzzle movement confirmed, the pilot called out. Target within 900 yards. Gravely's captain raised his hand. Hold fire just a second longer. At 6:08, the Venezuelan boat suddenly veered hard to port, engines whining as it peeled away, throwing up white spray. The other boats followed, formation broken. Then word came over comms. Contacts retreating, all units stand down weapons, maintain tracking. It had been a minute from a gunfight neither side wanted, but both were seconds away from starting. By 7 o'clock, the sea was empty again. No Venezuelan boats in sight, no engine echoes on sonar. The strike group held course, speed 20 knots, heading north. But the fight wasn't over. It was just moving to another battlefield. The political one. 2 hours later, Venezuelan state media released a short, grainy video. It showed their patrol boats racing across open water, overlaid with the narration claiming they had repelled an American incursion. In Washington, the Pentagon wasted no time. They published satellite images and full radar logs proving that the U.S. group had been operating inside international waters more than 80 miles from Venezuelan territory. The Navy called it reckless brinkmanship. Caracas called it sovereign defense. Both sides were technically right and completely unwilling to back down. Diplomats scrambled behind the scenes to cool things off. No shots fired, no injuries, just a near miss. But inside the fleet, sailors knew the truth. difference between a near miss and a war can be as small as a misunderstood radio call or one nervous finger on a trigger. By the next day, the Eisenhower strike group quietly shifted farther north. The Venezuelan boats returned to port under radio silence. Both nations moved on publicly, but everyone at sea knew this wouldn't be the last close call in these waters. People think warships can see everything. In reality, the ocean still hides mistakes better than any battlefield on Earth. At night, or in low light, a destroyer and a carrier can appear nearly identical on a small radar screen. Both have massive steel hulls, similar radar returns, and complex electromagnetic noise bouncing off waves. Add poor weather, tired operators, and old equipment, and your target suddenly isn't what you think it is. That's what happened here. Venezuelan patrol crews were using shore-fed radar data, not live ship sensors. Their coordinates came from a static grid that didn't account for the carrier group's overnight repositioning. In the Caribbean, even a 30-mile shift can turn a routine patrol into a full-blown confrontation. And when governments mix politics with poor situational awareness, things get dangerous fast. Naval officers call it threat mirroring, each side interpreting the other's move as aggression, even when it's just self-defense. The truth? Modern navies rely on human judgment just as much as technology. And one misread radar echo or one misheard transmission can spiral into international crisis before anyone even says the word fire. The official reports later called it a routine encounter. The sailors who were there called it something else, the closest they'd come to firing live rounds outside of wartime. Looking back, it's hard not to wonder how thin that line really is. One flare, one wrong radar lock, one commander losing his nerve. That's all it takes to turn a tense standoff into headlines nobody wants to write. At sea, there is no replay button. Once you commit, you live with the outcome. So here's the question for you. You're on the bridge. The alarms are screaming. There's 4 fast boats tearing straight towards your ship at 40 knots. Do you hold fire and risk getting hit, or do you squeeze the trigger first? Drop your answer below. I want to see how you would call that one. Thanks for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, share it with a friend who loves naval stories, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a debrief whenever the next close call hits the ocean. And hey, if you want to go a step further and support the channel directly, please join the fleet. You'll get loyalty badges, priority replies, and you'll help us bring more true maritime stories to the surface. Just click join on our channel page and get on board. In the end, the Venezuelan Navy didn't just pick the wrong target, they picked the worst possible day to forget their map. I'll see you in the next one.